Switching gears back to this, violent crime hitting home for Nancy Pelosi as the speaker says somebody broke into her house, brutally attacking her husband, Paul Pelosi. Welcome to a brand new hour of America's Newsroom. I'm Dana Perino.
Good morning to you. I'm Bill Hemmer. Good morning. Sweet man there, that doctor, huh?
Dr. John
Best of Percy, all right?
Yeah, Percy gets her act
my
together.
godson's got to get it together, all right?
Yes, he does.
Okay. Meanwhile, this attack taking place earlier today in San Francisco. Don't know the exact time, but Paul Pelosi's in the hospital. Speaker Pelosi was in Europe at the time. Her spokesman says that Mr. Pelosi expected to make a full recovery. Want to get the Leo Terrell, Fox News contributor. Leo, there's a lot we do not know, okay? The AP says he was severely beaten. We don't know how he got in. We don't know whether he was let in. We don't know if he knew Paul Pelosi, whether he's a complete stranger. But the write-up is that, quote, the motivation is still under investigation. Want to be a little careful on the story. We don't know yet. We don't know how he's going to pull out of it, Leo.
Well, first of all, I hope he has a full recovery, and I think that's the first thing I want to say. And secondly, I believe there's also a suspect in custody. But the bigger problem, Bill, is simply this. Crime does not discriminate. Rich or poor, black or white, city, suburbs, everywhere. It's everywhere. It's the number one issue in this country. And I think what Democrats need to do, this is a wake-up call, because you're talking about San Francisco. Bill, California, San Francisco, LA is the heart and soul of crime. Crime is permitted in this state and in a lot of blue cities. And I think at this particular time, a couple of weeks before midterm, it is a number one issue in California and throughout the country. People want to be safe.
Interestingly, I believe, Leo, that the suspect is in custody, right? And they say that they're looking into and investigating what the motive was. Some of these crimes don't get solved because you actually don't have the suspect, but in this case, they do?
Yes, Dana, the reports are that he's in custody, but the key here is this. Will he be released? Will he get back on the streets? I mean, let's look at Fox News has done a tremendous job of pointing out these repeated offenders. We need to know a lot about this person, but will he be released? Because we have that no cash bail rule in California. Career criminals are back on the streets. And again, Democratic voters, Democratic politicians, this is a wake-up call. Crime is everywhere, and it does not discriminate. So it's interesting to see what will happen to this suspect. Again, speedy recovery for Paul Pelosi. Will this change the Democratic position on crime? I don't think so, but I hope so.
That's a great point, Leo, about the bail and the progressive DA in San Francisco and the amount of headlines that the DA has generated. Dana and I were we were rattling off the number of public figures who have been victims of crime in the last year, right? I mean, you had the case in L.A. Karen Bass, the former congresswoman, wants to be mayor. She had guns stolen out of her house. Here in New York, Lee Zeldin in Long Island, there were gunshots fired outside of his home. His two daughters were home at the time. You know, the point being, it reaches in everywhere and does not discriminate.
Absolutely. It does not discriminate. And basically, these criminals have a license. They read the news. They know they're going to be released. So they're emboldened, Bill. They know that they're going to get back out. And these individuals, that subway incident, how many times was that individual released? This is the problem with Democratic soft on crime, George Soros-backed prosecutors. And it's going to get worse until there's a change. I hope the voters wake up and drive these Democratic soft on crime prosecutors out of duty.
Well, and another thing, Leo, is that just in the midterm debate, as both parties have gone back and forth on crime, Democrats focus a lot on handgun crime or gun crime. That is a problem. But even in this case in particular, he was violently beaten.
Absolutely. First of all, Dana, you know as well as I do, and Bill knows as well, that talking point on gun control is that's a talking point for Democrats every time there is victims of crime. They always talk about gun control. But this did not involve a gun. This involved someone breaking in and violently, without a gun, assaulting Paul Pelosi. It's an issue of crime. And what has to happen is that there cannot be no denial of this. Democrats are talking up crime right now in the last 2 weeks before the midterms. Too little, too late, Dana.
Well, we'll see what details emerge from this, Leo.
Well, and we don't know if there was a gun involved. We'll see if we find out.
It goes to the point that Bill Barr was making this week in the Wall Street Journal. Those who commit crimes, it's such a small percentage, but they do it over and over and over again and drive the numbers higher. if you change the policy, you got a
Absolutely.
shot at driving it back down. Leo, thank you for your time in L.A. More details on this when we get them in here. Thank you, Leo Terrell.
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Kane podcast for full episodes right now.